So now in this video I'm going to make a video that I plan to make for a while. We'll come back to that. But in any case, I have this LED here. It's a pretty bright, it's a G4 LED. I think that is based on the pin setup right there. But in any case, we don't have a polarity on here. I'm hooking up the power supply. We'll come back to this other stuff later on. There's no polarity. And I'm pretty sure because that's a bridge rectifier right there. I'm going to try to prevent a short, but even if you short, this power supply will turn off. So I'm not being as careful as I would be if we had no short circuit protection. But you should avoid purposely short circuit. So there we got 8 volts, but you can also see that there's really no current that is flowing. About 3. Oh, it's focusing on that. That's the problem. That was really weird. There you can see 9, and I think maybe need 10 volts before it's on fully. But yeah, now you can see as the voltage goes up, the current goes down. So I believe the listing I saw, it said that it was a 2-watt LED, but we're not getting 2 watts, as you can see there. If it was 2 watts, then we would need 20 volts before we get 0.1 amps. Now we can go to 20 volts. The listing says 12. And also says 24, and I don't know how much higher you can go. I'll try it right now, and the current's still going down, so I think you may be able to use a 24 volt battery. I don't know how hot these get. Doesn't feel hot. I can hold it. But yeah, in any case, that's enough about this bulb. Let's get moving on. So now, what I wanted to do, take a power supply like this and use it to light the LED. I plugged it into the holder. I had some problems last time I was filming this. This one is broke right there. I didn't realize that when I tried plugging it in. But in any case, we will just reshoot the scene. So I'm going to plug this in. This is a meter, and I believe this is enough to turn this on. The voltage booster did not turn it on by itself when I just plugged it in directly. So this is the voltage that it's measuring out from the power supply, and now we will attach this. We already saw, I told you that I set this to about 15 volts approximately. We saw about how much current that needs. And so this is a voltage booster. This is a, I call it kind of a multimeter type thing right there, but it gives you the current, the voltage. You can also set it for power and some other stuff. Okay, this did turn off, so I'll just have to hit the button to restart it. But yeah, it will be boosting the voltage once we turn the power on. So that's this module. You see these big blobs. That's why I made, relatively recent videos. I think they're a month old now. But where I bought new soldering iron tips and I tin them. I watch videos on how to properly tin them because the old tip I had was heavily oxidized, and so I couldn't get a nice little smooth flow of solder. I had to get like a blob on the thick part of the iron and kind of work its way down and hope it was the right size when it landed. Wasn't the best way to do that. So that's why I made those videos. I could have made this look a lot better now, I'm pretty sure. These wires came from a Radio Shack kit that I bought a long time ago. And I believe they're 22 gauges, but they're solid, solid metal. So these screws go down on the solid metal really well. I paid, a little less, I believe, than $2 each for these LEDs, and I bought the holders that are commonly used with them, the G4 bulbs. The stranded wires, though, and so these are ferrules that I attach to them. So that is pretty much the setup there, and there's a couple slots, but they're slightly wider than the pins on this component. And also, I was looking around the camera, but I wasn't in the best spot to get that. So yeah, it's still off. When I press the button, it should turn on. And I think if I double press it, there's actually a little light there. I didn't realize that. I accidentally did that. But yeah, there you can see. We got 5 volts now coming out. And it's only showing 0.35 amps of current right there. And oh, yeah, that's right. With the power supply, we had 0.1 amps when we got to like 17 volts, I think it was. And so now this is a lot more current right there. We're getting probably a little more than like 3 times as much, which makes sense. I'm outputting about 15 volts with this unit. So now I think this video has gone on long enough, but we can do a voltage measurement. And I'm guessing this voltage booster was probably only like a couple bucks. You know, you get a bunch of them, and all of them together, I bet there was like $2 each. And maybe I got like 5 for $10 or something like that. That's common. And this is probably the best spot to measure the voltage out. So yeah, we got 5 volts in, like 0.35 amps. And there we go. At the output, we got about 15 volts right there, which, as we saw with the power supply, means that we had to provide about 0.1, a little bit more than 0.1 amps. So we're getting about a third of the voltage in, but about 3 times as much current, approximately. And then we got about 3 times as much voltage out at probably about a third of the current, approximately. There's going to be a little loss with the unit there. But I was saying the math a little wrong earlier, but that's the way it's going there. So to turn the power bank off, we should have a switch that we could cut off, but I can just pull this out. And yeah, that's not too hot holding there, but I believe the LEDs might be kind of hot, and they probably cool down quick too as soon as I unplug them. So this should turn off, you know, I believe, but still best just to do that. Make sure it turns off completely. So the kind of the purpose of this is I got these that I want to use if the power goes out, even though I got batteries and power banks, solar generators, they're technically called, and stuff. I also have a number of these that are stored energy, so I want to find as many ways to use them to power stuff. So that's a big part of electronics, coming up with ways to power stuff. I mostly do circuits and stuff, because this is just, you know, really attaching stuff together. But that's a big part of electronics as well. It doesn't make for as interesting videos. You know, this isn't terribly creative or anything. You can kind of come up with it on your own once you know all this stuff exists and everything. But still, I think it's good videos to watch where people do stuff like this and, you know, build this stuff yourself. It's not all about circuits with individual components that you solder and everything. This actually you kind of do need to solder, but I could just plug this in. Otherwise, I could solder the wires. You want to learn as much as you can, and then you'll have as many options to work with. You'll have more options to work with, I should say, when you finally get to building projects, and you'll end up with something you like better at the end. So that was a long enough rant. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you check out one of the other videos I'm posting on screen, and check out the links down below. They all help out a lot. I'll see you in the next video.